My name is May Hong. I am the speaking voice of Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. And this is Moana Nui Podcast. Signing off. Happy fans. Do it with me. Happy fans. Happy hon.
Good evening and welcome to Moana Nui After Dark presents Geek Speak On Sports. I'm James, once again joined by, that guy, Mouse.
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
Pretty damn good. I can't complain. About yourself?
I'm living the dream. I'm finally getting to rest after a number of conventions last month. I know that we live in Atlanta, you and I, and World Cup starts tomorrow. We'll get into that later, but I'm looking forward to actually being home for 2 months and not doing a single damn thing. And I'm trying to figure out how not to go into my office the week that we have World Cup games here. Matter of fact, I don't even want to go into the building because of what traffic is going. And look, I get it. I'm not near downtown. You are. I can only imagine what traffic is going to look like for your commute to work when the games hit here in Atlanta.
They sent us an email out last week, if I'm not mistaken, essentially telling everybody to make allowances for people getting in late or people doing more work from home than usual because of where my job is located in respect to where the World Cup events will be. They're already pre-preparing for, all right, you may not make it in. You may not get there on time. You may be a couple hours late. So I really like that they're making those kinds of plans, which, they could just be complete assholes and be like, oh, well, you better be here on time and plan early. But they're like, no, we get it. It's going to be a problem, so we're going to make some allowances, which I think is kind of cool. I'm not sure how many jobs would be willing to do that.
Very few. I will say that my job is pretty much only allowing people to work from home on the day of a game, and that's it. So, like, if there's a game played and you're supposed to be in office for the week, whatever day that game is played is the day you can work from home. Outside of that, the other days of the week, you still have to come into the office.
Gotcha.
Right. I don't like that because for the week that my team is in office this month, the game is on a Wednesday. I don't work Wednesdays.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah. I see.
Matter of fact, the game is 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. So yeah, that's when the game in Atlanta is, when my team is in office. And my manager had already sent out an email. You all can work from home, to which I responded, I'm already going to be home. Like,
the funny thing about the game being on a Wednesday, it is Wednesday, isn't it?
It is a Wednesday.
That's the day that everybody at my job is expected to be at work. Like, whatever your work from home schedule is what you and your manager have agreed upon. But the designated day for everybody to be at work is Wednesday.
That Wednesday.
Is Wednesday. It's every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Oh, every Wednesday is the designated everybody comes to work.
Yes. Yeah,
they might have to scrap that for the week, make it Tuesday or Thursday, because no.
Again, especially considering where my job is in relation to where the events will be, the games will be.
Oh my God.
And I'm intentionally being vague about that because, crazy people.
I understand. Shout out to Candaysee, who's joining us via chat tonight because her Knicks are in the NBA Finals. More on them in a bit. But what is this? Some of us have to go to work Ma'am, you work on the south side of town.
That's your fault for picking that kind of job. Yes, I said it.
And you work in sales. Nobody feels pity for you. We talking about folks who act. No, I'm stopping. Good luck to your Knicks, Candaysee. Kind of, sort of.
I don't know about
a little bit. I mean, the Spurs got 4 titles.
So, and
oh man,
does that mean I'm supposed to root for?
No, I'm not saying. Look, you don't have to have a rooting interest, and we all know that your rooting interests don't extend outside of the city of Atlanta anyway.
Well, no, that's not true. My rooting interests are the Falcon or all the Atlanta teams. Anybody playing against the Saints.
I'm glad you got that one in there.
I'm just saying. Those are my teams.
So
all
those
the Atlanta teams. Anybody playing against the Saints.
Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to try to kill some time here before Q can join us. Hopefully she does join us. Next.
Why is it if you beat Atlanta teams?
That's not true.
Not in every case, no.
That's not true. That's not true. Look,
what I have noticed though is a lot of players who leave Atlanta teams end up on teams that make much deeper runs into the playoffs.
Oh my gosh. Candaysee, you're being awful chatty for somebody who's supposed to be watching the game. But if
you could be on here with us.
Right. You could be on here with us and be distracted by the game, like you normally are during the regular season with the Knicks.
Oh, wait, maybe if I root for the Knicks, they'll lose.
No. Oh. Wow. We doing this. We are doing this.
Absolutely. She's not here to defend her team. You damn right I'm doing this. Absolutely.
Your petty knows no bounds, sir.
No, it does not.
Since we already into it, let's start with the NBA. And congratulations to both the Spurs and the Knicks in the NBA for making the NBA Finals. Two totally different roads for both teams. The series is currently 2-1 in favor of the Knicks. Game 4 is currently on right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, tip-off should have already started. So the game has just started as we are recording live here shortly after 8:30.
Oh, wait, there it is. Okay.
And thank you for Candaysee. They're doing the national anthem. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. The Knicks did lose game 3 because, as all their fans will tell you, he was there at the game. That's why they lost. Haven't seen highlights of game 3. I will say that officiating had something to do with it to some extent, because I don't know what the hell that was. I will, however, say, though, that, oh, man, they need to do a better job of catching things, because stuff like this should not be allowed.
Again, that is a very accurate representation of some social media videos I've been seeing of Knicks fans attacking Spurs fans after the game. And let's just, rivalries are great fun.
Yes.
Rivalries are great fun.
Yes, they are.
Sometimes you poke the bear a little bit more than you should, but I've seen far too many videos of the shitty Knicks fans attacking Spurs fans. And I don't just mean like a one-on-one. Like the last 3 videos I've seen have been Spurs fans walking down the street and being attacked by a group of Knicks fans. And it's not all the Knicks fans. Obviously, we know that. But it's happening too damn frequently. And that needs to stop. That needs to stop.
That is indicative of fan bases everywhere. I don't know a fan base that doesn't have its ill-willed or malcontent elements that randomly attack people of a different fan base, especially during the playoffs. Right. It's not.
And let me say this. I've got no problem with one fan fighting another fan, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. Make the fight a fair fight. I like watching other people fight and get beat up. I keep my distance and watch, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoy watching it sometimes. But when you've got 4-on-1, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not cool. That
is not cool at all.
That's not cool. Blurredography, you're young, so I'm gonna kindly ask you to STFU. Because it's not, in your opinion, trash.
In football, actually, as much as I hate the Saints, I kind of think the Raiders and the Chiefs rivalry is bigger than the Falcons and the Saints rivalry.
The biggest rivalry in the NFL, hands down, and anybody who's watched football more than 30 years will tell you this, it's Bears-Packers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, easily. There's no rivalry bigger than that one.
That is by far the biggest rivalry. The only other rivalry I would put up there with Bears-Packers is Cowboys-Commanders.
See, I was thinking Cowboys-Eagles.
It's Commanders.
Okay.
Like, we have our rivalry with Dallas, but the rivalry really only picked up over the last 30 years. Before that, it really wasn't.
Gotcha.
But we're talking about historically all time, something that's even before we were born was a rivalry. Yeah. Like, Saints and Falcons have only been around roughly 40 some odd years. We're talking about teams who pretty much been there since day one of the league. It's easily Packers Bears, because
a little bit longer than 40 years.
Let's put it this way, it's less than 50.
I mean, both teams have been around. I want to say the Falcons, is it 69?
It was late 60s for both of them.
60s, yeah.
Because one of them was 67, the other one was 68.
Yeah.
So we're creeping up on 50 years, but we're not at 50 yet.
True. That's fair.
So, but as far as the NBA goes,
because you chose violence almost. Yeah, I never
that he does.
I have never denied that.
I will say that with the Spurs, look, I'm not surprised the Spurs are here. Once they made the West Finals and went up against OKC, I figured it's anybody's game. I fully expected it to go 7 games. I was not expecting it to turn out the way it did. It was wild, to say the least. It was wild. Thank you for that blurredography. Appreciate it.
Yep.
But yeah,
we're right at, so we're almost at 60 years then.
Yeah, 60 years. My bad. Yeah, so yeah. 60. So as far as the OKC San Antonio West Finals, definitely entertaining, definitely questionable officiating. Exposure of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I will say, because flopping has never been the point of discussion of an NBA series more than that West Finals.
But James, bad NBA officiating has been going on at least 20 years.
Yes.
Now, because there are always going to be missed calls. There's no way you're going to catch everything.
Absolutely. But
the officiating has been bad for so long. Again, basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way to watch them. I like the way to watch them dribble up and down the court. If anybody caught that, but the officiating lately has been horrible. It's hard for me to watch a game now, and I love my Hawks.
Yeah.
Because again, the taking 5 steps, not getting a travel call,
because it's the gather. It's the gather.
No, not even the gather.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure it's the gather.
Well, no. So I hate the gather as well. And yes, I know I sound like an old man, and I don't care. But no, and not the gather. But it's like I'll sit there. I was like, wait, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4. Really, 4 steps? Still no travel call? And and I say new, it's new to me. I'm sure you've probably known about it for a while. Typically, if your hand goes underneath the ball, that's a carry.
Yes.
But there's something, again, new to me with the dribble rules where there's now like a certain amount of underneath the ball that your hand can go. And I can't think of what it's called.
It's still a carry. Palming is what officially it's called, a palming violation.
No, but there's something new. There's a new type of or not type of dribble, but aspect of the dribble. Because remember how Allen Iverson used to do the ball before he started his crossover?
Yeah, they called a palming violation on him.
No, I know, but something that a lot of players are doing now, it's not as severe as what he would do before his crossover. So it's kind of in like a grayish area.
Oh no, it's definitely as severe as what he would do. The league just pretty much lacks the rules to the point to allow them to do it. But they're picking and choosing their moments where it's like, we can't let this be widespread, but at the same time, we can't let them keep doing it. We got to give them some leeway, but not let them run amok with it.
And I don't understand why they get leeway.
Well, again, because Iverson brought an element into the league wasn't ready for. Right. And yeah, the way his crossover work was putting his hand under the ball, which is illegal as far as dribbling.
Yeah.
Because again, but the official rule, but it's a palming violation. And
hockey pull, that's what it's called.
Okay. But when Iverson was playing, they, depending on which crew officiated him and the Sixers at that time, sometimes they would let him get away with it and sometimes they wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what crew was there. Now, did some officials have personal vendettas against Iverson for whatever reason? Yes.
Because there was one official, I remember, I can't think of what his name is, but every single time he did it, the whistle got blown on him.
I believe it was Steve Javi.
Because I've seen interviews with Allen,
yes,
with Iverson, where he's talked about that.
I want to say it was Steve Javi. Oh no, it wasn't Steve Javi. It was another official. There was an NBA official who was involved in gambling, and that referee. And I'm trying to remember what his name is right now. Tim Donaghy. That's who it was. Tim Donaghy. When he was reffing, if anybody he knew had put money on a game in which Iverson was playing and he was reffing that game, yeah, he would call Iverson for palming the ball every single time he crossed over.
Yep.
Without fail. Like and if you don't believe me, there's a documentary out there about this.
Yep.
I don't know what streaming platform it's on. It's either on Amazon Prime or it's on Netflix, but it's on one of those two streaming platforms. But it is specifically about the gambling scandal involving Tim Donaghy. Yep. So look that up if you don't believe me. He specifically says that if he was refereeing a Sixers game and anybody he knew had money on the game, he would influence the game in their favor by purposefully calling Iverson for palming every time he crossed over.
Yep.
So if you go back and look at those games that Iverson played and Donaghy was the referee, every time Iverson crosses over, palming violation.
Yep.
Without fail.
Yep.
So now granted, I won't say it's as bad as that now, because now there's another referee caught up in the gambling scandal that just recently got picked up by the FBI.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I saw that last week. And it's a brother.
Oh wait, is it? Oh, I think I know who it is. Is it the one that kind of looks like a young lady that we know kind of looks like her dad? Not him.
Oh gosh, what's his name? I'm trying to remember because I just because it was the one that involves Chauncey Billups. That's the one. Not Tim Donaghy. Dang it, I can't find the referee's name, but it's like when I say he's the brother, it's a black man.
No, I know because there's one black ref that every time he's involved, he's in a game, there's some shenanigans going on with him.
Yeah, that's not cool. if you spotted that, that's definitely not cool. But
Damon Jones. Wait, no. No, that was the player coach. I'm sitting here. at any rate, yeah, I can't. Let's not put too much time into trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a referee who recently, I saw that and I was like,
he recently got popped. I saw it on IG last week. So yeah, but as far as the Knicks go, if you're familiar with the wrestler Danhausen and you're a Knicks fan, you need to be thanking that man. That's all I gotta say. If you're a Knicks fan and you have heard of WWE, you have watched WWE, if you know somebody involved with WWE, go look up Danhausen, send him a message, thank him for your Knicks at least getting this far. Because initially back, what was it, April, when the playoffs were about to get started, Danhausen went on ESPN. He cursed Stephen A. and he cursed the Knicks because Stephen A. is a Knicks fan.
Yep.
As I do this.
Right.
So Stephen A. is a Knicks fan. So he goes on there. He curses Danhausen. Danhausen curses Stephen A. He puts a curse on the Knicks. And they played that first round series against the Hawks in which they were down 2-1. A fan pretty much paid Danhausen X amount of dollars. I don't know what the total was, but it was several $1,000s to uncurse the Knicks.
I will never forgive that fan.
Of course you won't. But New Yorkers love that fan. So he made a video. He told Danhausen, name his price. He will pay it. Uncurse the Knicks. And Danhausen agreed. He uncursed the Knicks. He still cursed Stephen A. He still cursed Stephen. He left the curse on Stephen A, but he uncursed the Knicks. The Knicks didn't lose a game until this past Monday night.
Yeah.
That is not hyperbole. They won 3 straight against Atlanta to win that series 4-2. They swept the Sixers. They swept the Cavaliers, more on that in a second. And then they won the first 2 games of the NBA Finals in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Find Danhausen, Knicks fans, give him a hug. Matter of fact, send him some money. Because if y'all end up with the chip, you owe Danhausen some cash. Or otherwise, he might curse y'all in the offseason and there will be no repeat. But for most Knicks fans, y'all weren't alive the last time the Knicks won a title.
Actually, I don't even think you and I were alive when they won. Because it was definitely the early 70s. I just don't remember what year it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like 71, 72.
Yeah, something like that. So it's been a minute.
70 and 73.
Yeah. So we weren't born yet. So like I said, most Knicks fans alive right now weren't alive the last time they won a title.
No.
So look up Danhausen. Send him some thanks. Y'all win the title. Because, I mean, you probably should. Now, as far as the Knicks beating the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm going to say something, and I mean this as disrespectfully as possible, because there is no nice way of saying this. And if you are a fan of one James Harden, I question everything about your love of basketball. James Harden plays no defense.
James, what are you talking about? That man plays amazing defense.
This is going to segue into something I'm going to do later for the WNBA. But James Harden plays about as much defense as a rock in the street on the highway. He's not going to put his hands up. He'll barely move his feet. He's not going to crowd the ball carrier. He's not going to crowd a shooter to make them uncomfortable as far as shooting. That dude is like, if he's guarding you, that's an easy bucket. And if you don't score, that's on you. Because that is how the Knicks, first of all, came back from 20 points down in the beginning of the fourth quarter of game 1.
Ooh,
and ended up winning by 15 points.
That was a ridiculous game.
Or 8 points in overtime, whatever it was. That is easily one of the biggest collapses in NBA history. And after losing game 1 in overtime, they didn't get within 20 points of the final total in any of the subsequent 3 games of them getting swept. because they realize if we just keep switching and ISO and James Harden, we can score.
Yep.
On the flip side, you're a Cavs fan watching this. You're like, well, bench James Harden. Well, there goes your offense to some extent. Because then what is Donovan Mitchell doing? What are the other players doing that should be scoring? Your prime players. So again, I say this as disrespectfully as possible. James Harden plays zero defense. Never has. Never has. In fact, I will say ever since he left Oklahoma City, when KD and Westbrook was still there, and his freelance tenure began in Houston so many years ago, defense was not a thing that he was concerned with. Because even during his MVP year in Houston, he played zero defense. And remember,
I would wager he's never played defense since he's been in the NBA. Whoa, they were down by 10.
It's early. Don't pay attention to the score right now. Don't. It's early.
I know.
James Harden, I will say James Harden probably played some defense because when he was drafted by OKC, the first 3 or 4 years of his career are in OKC. He came off the bench because he was Westbrook's backup.
Yeah.
Right. So to get minutes, he had to play defense. So that's why I say since he left OKC, he has not played defense. Since he's been relied on to be a team's offense, he has never played a lick of defense. Ever since leaving OKC. And again, on offense, he may be a walking bucket, but he's a volume shooter.
Yeah.
He's going to need to jack up 20 shots a night to get those 30 points. That's not efficient in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, he may look spectacular scoring the rock. Just know that he's a liability on defense, and defense wins championships. So do I feel bad for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Not really. I mean, y'all probably gave up some prime defenders on the prime perimeter defenders just to get another offensive bucket, to help out with the scoring. But did you really need it?
They think they did.
Questionable decisions to be talked about later in another segment. But yeah. But for right now, again, NBA Finals, 2-1 Knicks. I don't know what to expect, honestly. People keep saying Knicks in 6. At this rate, it's looking like Knicks in 6.
I'm calling Spurs in 7.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, it's still possible. I mean, they're going to have to do it in 7 at this point because I don't see them winning 4 straight.
They could.
They ain't winning 4 straight. But again, go ahead. I was
gonna say the Knicks are the more experienced out of this group.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the
Spurs.
I like the performance of these younger guys on San Antonio. Right now, San Antonio is built for their future. They're built for their future. The Knicks are built to win right now. I mean, which clearly that's what they've been doing. They're built to win right now. But like I said, I like the explosiveness of some of these San Antonio players. It's gonna be interesting. And if Wembanyama can thank you, can become the beast that he needs to be, he would be the difference maker, in my opinion.
Yeah. There's just one issue with all of what you just said. The league office, the referees, and the TV contract. I'm sorry, that was 3 things, and I said one issue. My bad. Because understand that you will never convince me after what I saw from Monday night that the fix wasn't in for the Knicks to lose regardless of anything happening.
I really don't want to believe that.
I
hear what you're saying, but I don't want to believe it.
Again, when was the last time a team was, the last sweep of the NBA Finals was Warriors Cavs. That was the last sweep. That was almost 10 years ago. Was it? Yeah, I think almost 10 years ago. Yeah, because Kevin Durant was on the squad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they swept. That was the last time there was a sweep. And the league would prefer that, the team that loses gets at least one game. But for this particular series, I highly believe they're trying to force this to go 7.
I don't want to believe that. I hear I do hear what you're saying. But I don't want to believe that.
Again, there's a reason that pretty much most sports fans in the US believe the NBA is the most rigged sport. There's a reason for that. So your hopes and dreams be dashed, but the only way I won't believe it, first of all, the officiating, obviously we've talked about the officiating. The officiating has to get better, because there are things I saw from Monday night that was like, oh, that was obviously a foul. And then to see whatever streamer posted, it's like, yeah, this wasn't called.
Yeah.
And then there was a particular play in which, what was it? I don't know who brought the ball up the court. Brunson is running to the top of the key. Wembanyama literally grabs him by the back of the neck and pushes him to the floor.
Yep, I saw that.
All right, basically mushes him to the floor like I used to do my cousins when I was younger. Right? And on the same play, you got De'Aaron Fox shoving both forearms into the chest of Karl Anthony Towns and throwing him out of the paint. These two things are happening on the same play.
Yeah.
And neither one was called. And you can clearly see an official in the shot.
Mm-hmm.
They're
letting them play.
Okay, just letting them play. And then this borderline assault and battery, or full on assault and battery in this case. The graphic we put up earlier wasn't supposed to be for shits and giggles.
There's one side of me that kind of likes seeing the physicalness come back to the game.
Yes.
Obviously, there are limits that you have to operate within.
Thank you.
But I like seeing physical play.
Okay, this physical play, and then there's WWE.
I mean, if we just go back to the rules of the 80s and the 90s, it'll be fine.
At power forward, 6'7", Obafemi.
Dude.
That's what you want?
That'd be a hell of a game. It'd be a hell of a game.
Shut up.
Be a hell of a game. Might get people interested in basketball again.
Look, we had a slam ball league on TV for about 5 years. Obviously, it didn't catch on.
Yeah.
The NBA doesn't need this. They need the physical play. There's physical play, and then there's the Jordan rules, or what the Pistons used to do to Chicago back in the early 90s.
Oh, that was brutal, man. I love it.
Okay. And that's pretty much what I saw from Monday night's game. That's what that looked like, except the Jordan rules applied to everybody in a Knicks jersey.
Did you ever get the book?
No.
Oh.
The Jordan rules book? No, I never read it. Oh. I never read it. Because at the time that the book came out, Chuck Daly and Isaiah Thomas pretty much spouted everything that was in the damn book.
This is true.
And they haven't denied anything since.
I mean, what would be the point in denying it? There's so much archival footage we could go look at.
I mean, the only thing missing from the book is the scene of Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise in court asking about who ordered the code red.
Let's see.
What?
You can get the Jordan rules. Okay, wait, it's too many different versions. I don't know which one of these is the real one.
Yeah, don't get into it right now. We'll discuss.
No, I was just curious as to what it costs, but yeah, there are too many different versions.
Yeah, no. But good luck to both teams. Apparently Elmo was catching smoke
More luck to one than the other.
Elmo was catching smoke on the interwebs as well, because he said, I hope both teams play well, to which New Yorkers was like,
oh, that was so funny.
These streets ain't sesame. Like,
And then I don't remember, but there was the picture that they posted of him with two Knicks players sitting on the stoop. And I'm like, damn, Elmo, you got to be more careful.
But was that picture AI or was that a real photo?
You know what? I don't know. I didn't dig too deep into it, so I don't know.
So yeah, there's that. But yeah, considering all New Yorkers consider that Sesame Street is an actual street that exists in New York, Elmo's supposed to be a Knicks fan. So saying I hope both teams do well did not sit well with them.
I mean, but is Sesame Street in Knicks territory?
I don't know, man.
Nets territory? I'm just saying, we got more than one team in New York.
Look, all I know is a puppet from Sesame Street doesn't need to catch all this smoke from the interwebs. he got enough issues with a damn rock.
Dude.
So he don't need that smoke.
I'm on Elmo's side with this Rocco feud.
Everybody's I'm gonna say everybody.
No, not everybody.
Not everybody. Look, if you're on Rocco's side, then we ain't friends. That's all I gotta say. Let's move on to I don't want to say the other basketball league, but this league has been drawing attention for reasons as well. Also dealing with, lo and behold, the referees.
And flopping.
I mean, when we talk about flopping, there is one particular player who is doing it over and over again, and she's just not getting called for any. Matter of fact, she's not getting called for anything.
Nope.
People have been posting clips online on social media of particular referees having apparent biases toward everyone not named you know who. And I'm not mentioning her name. You know who she is.
Right.
I have criticized her play enough. I will continue to criticize her play because she still can't go left. She's not physical. And apparently she plays zero defense this season. So for everyone who wants her to be the face of the league,
she's got to be no.
No.
There was one clip that I saw of she didn't get a call. And what was
there? You go. There you go. Since some people wanted to be the face of the league so badly, there you go, right there.
Oh, but no, there was one.
Paraphrase Killmonger. Is this your queen? This your champion? This right here. Because this is who some people want to be the face of the league. This right there.
And to think, if it weren't for LeBron, we wouldn't have this.
Man, it's more than just him.
Well, no, okay, you're absolutely right. It's more than just him. However, because players have always flopped to some degree. There's always been flopping to some degree. Nobody
Vladdy and Shaq
quite like him.
No, Vladdy and Shaq.
Ooh.
Yeah, you forgot about that. That's where flopping began.
There was just a size difference, though.
Yeah, and look, I will agree that sometimes it was Shaq overpowering Vladdy, and sometimes it was Vladdy straight up flopping. So you can't say it started with LeBron.
No. I'm not saying it started with him. What I'm saying is nobody does it quite like him.
Oh, man. Well, for the image I just put up, I want to point out a couple of things that why I put that image up. And let's start with the fact that two teams in the league, two fairly new teams, one in its second year of existence, one in its first, pretty much in back-to-back nights. And I'm sorry, Fierce, because I'm about to tag your team and they're going to catch a stray for this. In back-to-back nights, embarrass that player because, again, no defense. She can't play it. So the Valkyrie, Golden State Valkyrie, pretty much ran ISO the entire second half at that player. In fact, there's a clip out there of her getting scored on for about 20 possessions in a row. It's ugly, to say the least, because she doesn't move her feet. She doesn't get her hands up. They are bodying her to the basket because the referees are allowing, again, some physical contact. And the players in the W are still trying to learn what they can and can't get away with. But yeah, let's just say that there's a reason I saved this for now, because these two players share the same defensive philosophy, and it's what is that? That's their defensive philosophy. What is it? Am I supposed to be doing something out here? Because after the Golden State Valkyrie pretty much showed she can't play defense, the next game the Indiana Fever had was against the new expansion first-year team Portland Fire, coached by Sandy Brondello. And if that name sounds familiar, that's the coach of the New York Liberty, who in 4 years did nothing but take the Liberty to the NBA playoffs, got them to the second round at least all 4 years, and then won a title in one of those 4 years that she was coach of the New York Liberty. And then they fired her after 4 years. Yeah. Because she didn't repeat as champion. So, yes, the Portland Fire then went in, ran the same offense. Yeah, I know what our offensive philosophy is. Howsoever, we're going to run pick and roll until our best ball handler or best shooter ends up ISO'd on you-know-who, and we're going to abuse her on defense.
Yeah.
And the Portland Fire end up beating them. I want to get this number correct here. The Portland Fire ended up beating them by 16 points. And at one point, it was a 20-point lead. And then the third game of this stretch, because now they have lost 2 in a row, the third game is against the Atlanta Dream. And I don't know for the life of me what the hell your coach was thinking, because tape is already out there. Keep running pick and roll until you get ISO on her. And for whatever reason, the genius of the head coach of the Atlanta Dream decided, we're going to run our standard offense and we're going to be okay. No, you lost. You lost. And you lost by double figures, 12 points, in which you shouldn't have even been down in the game. Because let's be perfectly clear here. The two best players for the Indiana Fever, no matter how you want to rank them 1 and 2, are Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. And if they're having off nights, there's no reason why you shouldn't win the game. So I'm going to take this a step further and say that if you're wondering about who the coaches are of these teams, Golden State, Portland, coached by women. The Atlanta Dreams coach is a male. Yeah. Because I don't know who's on his staff, but I'm pretty sure someone on his staff was like, yo, look, you see what these two teams did the previous 2 nights when they lost, when Indiana lost 2 in a row? You see what they're doing? We should do that against Indiana. And not once did they do that against Indiana. Now, the next game they had against the New York Liberty, the Liberty did surprisingly do that with their new head coach. So to force Indiana to lose 3 out of 4, but it should have been 4 in a row. Matter of fact, Indiana probably shouldn't win more than 4 or 5 games for the rest of the season if teams keep doing that. But again, you got coaches who are stuck in their way of thinking of this is going to work. And if you're thinking, well, why do I think that's the case? It's because surprisingly or unsurprisingly, half the coaches in the WNBA are men.
Now, there is the possibility that the fix is in.
No, it's not the fix being in.
I'm just saying.
It's definitely not the fix.
If they're trying to make that particular player the face of the league.
I want you to look at this list. These are the 15 head coaches of the WNBA teams for this current 2026 season. And if this doesn't disgust you, it should. Because of 15 teams, 8 of the coaches are men. Yeah. There are only 2 women of color, 3 men of color. So 1/3 of the league has coaches of color, non-white, if you will. But the fact that more than half, 8 of the 15 coaches are men is crazy. And understand, some of these teams are doing poorly because they fire coaches who were actually trying to turn the franchises around, or at least were winning. Sandy Brundello, who I mentioned, the former Liberty coach, is the coach of the Toronto Tempo right now. And the Chicago Fire, Chicago Sky, I have to lay into them. For everyone who wants to bash Angel Reese, pretty much it shows that you don't know a damn thing about basketball.
Because they're still having the same problems they were having when she was there.
And they're not trying to get better. Skylar Diggins came out over the last week and ripped into the organization. They lost the game recently by like 20 some odd points. She's in a press conference, and I kid you not, wearing a hoodie like she wants to pull it over her face because I have never seen the look of a player say, "Get me the fuck out of here," more loudly than what was on her face during this press conference. And a reporter asked her, "What do you think about the offense?" And she cut off the reporter from finishing the question about the team's offense and said, "That's a Tyler question. You have to ask him." Yeah. Tyler being the Chicago Sky coach.
Yeah. That's not going to win you any brownie points with anybody.
So if you're trying to think, well, what happened to the previous coach? Oh, you mean the coach they had when they drafted Angel Reese, who was actually making the team better? Well, let's see. You fired the coach after Angel's rookie season. The best offensive player on the team in Kennedy Carter, you cut her. She spends a year playing overseas. And, oh, by the way, she's back in the league this year playing for the Vegas Aces. She is coming off the bench, averaging 20 points a game. Nice. On a roster that is already loaded with Chelsea Gray, Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, and Jewel Lloyd.
Remind me again, who's the current defending WNBA champion?
Oh, the Aces.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That would be the Aces.
That's right. And you want to go and put your hand? Yeah.
So yeah, if you're wondering why your team is struggling recently, when they look like they were turning a corner as far as the WNBA goes, ask yourself, and again, look up who the head coach is. Is the current coach a man? Was the previous coach in the previous 2 to 3 years a woman? And if the answer to both of those questions is yes, therein lies your problem. Because a lot of these dudes taking over for the women who used to coach these teams are doing piss poor jobs.
Yeah.
Chicago included. That's the top of the list right now. Because there's no reason for Chicago, a team that's been around almost 15 years of the 30 years of the WNBA, should look the way it does. There are 3 teams that started playing within the last 2 years: Portland, Toronto, and Golden State. And all 3 of those teams look light years ahead of where Chicago is. And that should not be the case. Expansion teams are supposed to be struggling within the first 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Not teams that have existed for over a decade. So yeah, organizationally, there's a problem with the Chicago Sky. Because how do you gut the roster, then make it look like you're doing something by bringing in all these veteran players and capable players who have at least 4 or 5 years experience in the league under your belt, and the coach can't get more production out of them? With Angel Reese, they were a top 3 team in rebounding every single year she was there. This year, they are like bottom 3rd. Sorry, not bottom 3rd. They're bottom 3 in the league. And there are 15 teams in the league. They're like 12 and 13 in rebounding.
That's got to suck.
So don't tell me that Angel Reese was the problem when she's gone and they can't rebound, because Camila Cardozo can't do it by herself.
Nope.
Matter of fact, no one else is rebounding outside of Camila Cardozo. No one. And Skylar Diggins is a phenomenal all-around player who can get a bucket whenever she wants to. But if nobody there understands what the hell the offense is supposed to be, which seems to be the problem, that's a coaching issue. So all I can say is I love watching WNBA. I hate poorly run organizations.
Yeah.
Chicago Sky is fitting the bill of being a poorly run organization, and they're not trying to change at all. There's no way they're trying to change. Your thoughts on the league so far after 1 month in, because everybody's played, literally every team in the W has played either 10 or 11 games at this point.
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far out of my dream.
Of course you would. Mine is that game against Indiana because I'm still pissed that they lost that game.
Oh yeah, no. Even with that loss, though.
Again, if the previous two teams that played Indiana before you laid out the blueprint of this is how you beat Indiana, why would you go in and not do the thing?
Yeah. Like I said, other than that, I'm liking what I'm seeing. What I love is I love seeing that people have finally figured out, and maybe not necessarily that they finally figured it out, but I'm finally seeing more physical play against that certain individual who that the league is trying to make the face of the league. Because again, we go back to our college career. Games where she was played physically, she lost. And if I can see that, and I am a casual college sports fan, I expect these people being paid exorbitant amounts of money at the pro league to see it as well. But yes, I know that's another thing that I love is people are finally figuring out. Yeah, she's good. We don't think she's as good as y'all are blowing her up to be, because you pressure her, you get a little physical, and she collapses.
Yep.
If she has any hopes of being as great as certain people want her to be, she's got to figure out how to deal with physical play.
And learn how to go left.
And learn to go left, yeah. And that little step back shot of hers, you know when it's coming.
It's all she's got.
Yeah.
So I would like to highlight one player who's been tearing the league up right now. And if you look at the standings in the WNBA, you will find that the Minnesota Lynx have the best record in the league, if not one of the top 2 records in the league. I know they're up there. Here's the kicker. Napheesa Collier, their best player, hasn't laced up her shoes at all this season because she's recovering from the ACL tear in last year's finals. Semifinals against the Phoenix Mercury. So she's still recovering from an ACL. And if you want to know why or who is responsible, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Olivia Miles, your 2026 WNBA Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I'm calling it right now.
Wow.
I am calling it right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have not watched the Minnesota Lynx play this season, I need you to do yourself a favor, find out when their next game is, watch them. Because they're getting balanced scoring from literally every single player on the floor. And she is about to be the next great point guard of the league.
Do you think they will wind up being the team to challenge
the Aces
for the Western Conference Finals?
Well, there's no what the playoffs are not in conference. It's the top 8 teams regardless. So it's not seeded east to west. It's literally the top 8 teams by record. So can they make the finals and face the Aces? Yeah, those 2 teams finish 1-2 in the standings. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to Minnesota and Vegas, which I was kind of expecting last year, but officiating and the Mercury end up winning because the deciding game cost Napheesa Collier her ACL. So again, remember I said Minnesota. Matter of fact, let me pull up the standings here. Yeah, the Lynx are currently 10-2, best record in the league. The Aces are 8-3. If this holds, they will end up 1-2 going into the playoffs. Yep. But this young lady right here, you all
currently 1-2.
You all need to get your knowledge up about Olivia Miles.
Yeah,
your next point guard, if you will, because right now Chelsea Gray is the point guard of the Vegas Aces. That's who currently has the title. She's the heir apparent. She is definitely the heir apparent. And for anybody who wants to overhype an average player who can only shoot threes and doesn't play defense, you're missing out on some phenomenal talent, because Paige Beckers has Dallas currently in the midst of a playoff hunt as well. So
you know how you mentioned the Lynx and the Aces being 1-2. You know who's number 3?
Yeah, your Atlanta Dream.
Oh, okay, I just want to put that out there.
I look. I know what the Dream.
No. I know you know. You
know I'm going to keep up with the Dream.
Oh, no. I know. I just, I wanted to make sure and just put that out there.
Look, there are 4 teams.
Not be following.
Look, there are 4 teams I'm going to keep track of in the WNBA more than anybody else. And in no particular order, it's Washington, it's Vegas, it's Atlanta, and wherever Angel Reese plays. And Angel Reese just happens to play in Atlanta, so that reduced my 4 teams to 3. So yes, I know exactly where Atlanta is. Don't get it twisted. I'm not passively looking at stats and everything. I'm keeping up with who's doing what on what night.
Again, that's more for the people watching who may or may not be keeping up.
Oh, they need to keep up. Because again, this is my second favorite league behind the NFL.
Yeah, because I have to say I am definitely watching more and more games.
Mm-hmm. Well, you actually went to a game.
The basketball is so wonderful. The games are the quality of basketball played in the W is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a kid who grew up loving the dunk contest, I understand people who say I want to see dunks. I get that. I get that. No. I get that. However, the quality of basketball played if you look at the W versus the NBA, quality in the W is so much better.
Of course it is.
It's so much better. I mean, it's honestly to the point where I think the only reason to actually watch the NBA these days might just be for the dunking.
Which I'm not impressed by.
Fair.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
No, fair. But if you want to watch quality basketball, it's W all day. W all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm trying to make it to more games because, man, that's one of the best things I've done. Was go to a Dream game, and I need to go to more.
Yeah, you should.
I need to go to more.
Yeah, because I'm still pissed. My Washington Mystics dropped a game earlier this week to Indiana. Made no sense. Had the game. Anyway, I know we don't talk about this a lot as we move on here, but I want to take a quick second to bring up something with Major League Baseball.
Oh, wow.
I know we normally don't talk about Major League Baseball unless someone's bringing up a story about the All-Star game or, the events around the All-Star game, or we're recapping the World Series because somebody won, probably the Dodgers again this year for those watching. I will say that me bringing up this particular topic is not a good thing because it has to deal with a possible strike pending for Major League Baseball. And if you remember the last time we had a strike, it was the 94 season was cut short and there was no World Series that year.
Nope.
Right.
Nike came up with some great commercials though.
Look, between Nike commercials and Married with Children.
Dude.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the 94-95 season of Married with Children, I don't know what number season that is. Do yourself a favor, go back and watch it, because and this is not hyperbole, every big name Major League Baseball player guest starred or appeared in at least one episode that entire season. I mean, literally the who's who at the top of their games in 94.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first time they made the joke about Marcy and Kris Jenner.
Yes, probably. Yes,
I'm
because
sorry,
a player saw
Jenner.
Marcy and thought it was Kris Jenner. Yes. That's what it was. One of the players, that was their line. They called Marcy Kris Jenner. So, yeah, definitely check that out. So why did I bring up Major League Baseball? Well, because the owners are proposing a cap. And that's pretty much what led to the strike in 94. Now, for a salary cap to be agreed upon, it has to have approval through collective bargaining from both the owners group and the players union. The players don't want a cap, understandably so, because it'll cut into what some of them are making.
Yep.
The problem is that along with the cap comes a salary floor, meaning that some teams need to spend a certain amount of money. And if you don't think that's a big deal, yeah, I'm gonna just put this up here via Sport Track. So the proposed salary cap is $245.3 million. Those 6 teams, the Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, Blue Jays, Phillies, and Braves, are the 6 teams currently paying above the cap for their entire team.
Yep.
Right?
Meaning they're paying the luxury tax.
There is no luxury tax.
Wait, they got rid of the luxury tax?
There's no luxury tax in baseball.
When did they get rid of it?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. For lack of a better term, yes, it was a luxury tax, if you will, because they were spending more. They were spending more than an agreed amount of what should be spent as far as payroll.
Because they used to treat the salary cap as a suggestion.
There never was a salary cap in baseball. Yeah, but let's just put it this way: there was an amount that was agreed upon that every team should spend at or near this amount, or shouldn't go over it. Is probably the better term. It was an agreed amount that no team should spend more than this. And if you do, then you have to pay, basically, like you said, a luxury tax to all the teams that are not spending that amount, divvied up or whatever. Whatever you spend more than that is split to payment towards the teams not spending that amount. I don't think that's been a thing for about a good decade or so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because if it was, the Dodgers and the Yankees wouldn't still have the highest payrolls in baseball.
Yeah.
Now, here's the kicker. That line right there. Teams below the proposed floor, because again, with a cap comes a floor. You have to spend a minimum amount. And owners in baseball are by far, collectively, the cheapest bastards in all of sports.
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm saying this again. This is not hyperbole. This is fact. The owners in baseball, the owners of Major League Baseball teams, are some of the cheapest bastards in all of sports.
The only pushback I would give to that is the fact that baseball contracts are fully guaranteed.
What's your point? Because all sports contracts should be fully guaranteed.
That's a good conversation. That's a good conversation.
Because we could easily have that. But remember, baseball is the only major sports league that does not have a salary cap. Every other sport has it. Hockey, football, basketball, soccer, even. Even lesser leagues that you've never heard of have caps and floors.
I wonder if that's why they have the fully guaranteed contracts, because there's no cap.
It was something the players wanted coming out of the lockout of 94-95.
Oh, okay.
So the disturbing part for me is not the 6 teams spending above the $245.3 million. It's basically what looks like 2/3 of the league that are spending below the proposed floor of $171.2 million. And if you look at these teams and you're a fan of any of these teams and you wonder why your team can never, 1, make the postseason, or 2, win a championship, that right there, teams below payroll, that right there is why. Because these teams don't spend money. They're not trying to spend money.
The teams that are below payroll, when you were looking this up, was there any information listed to kind of average out about what they're paying? Or is the 170?
I'm pretty sure there's a number out there as far as like what each club is individually paying. But again, it's still below $171.2 million right now.
Gotcha.
So if you're looking at just for this current season, every single one of these teams, their payroll is below $171.2 million. So don't expect any team on this list that is below the 171.2 to make the playoffs. Hell, I'm a Washington Nationals fan. I'm happy when my team is above 500, which they're not. Last I checked, they were a game below 500. They just beat the San Francisco Giants last night. But the kicker is that these teams, the way they operate, and this is a universal thing amongst these teams, because the teams missing are basically in between 171.2 and 245.3. So if you're looking for a particular team and wondering why aren't they listed, because they're above the floor and below the ceiling. And that's not a lot of teams left. Again, this is roughly 80% of the teams in Major League Baseball on this graphic alone.
Yeah.
So what happens with these teams that are below the proposed floor? Well, they do well for themselves. Somehow star players break out, and then the team decides they cost too much. We can't pay them. And one of those 6 teams that is above the proposed ceiling, they will pay them to win a championship. Case in point, Washington's last title was about 8 years ago. I believe it was 2018. Yeah, 2018 or 2017, whenever it was. But somewhere around there was Washington's last title. The year before, they let Bryce Harper walk because they knew Bryce Harper was going to cost too much money. Bryce Harper currently plays in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. He has played in Philadelphia. So basically, had Bryce Harper, his contract was up. Washington wasn't going to pay him what he wanted, which he deserved, because he was a perennial MVP.
Yeah.
Philly gave him the bag. Philly's been in the playoffs pretty much almost every single year Harper's been on that roster.
Can't even be mad at him for that.
Right? Washington, however, hasn't been back to the playoffs since winning that World Series. The breakout star of that World Series, Juan Soto, who was on a rookie deal when they won the World Series, progressively got better the next 2 years of his rookie contract before it ran out, to the point to where Washington said, again, we can't afford him. Juan Soto now plays, first went to the Mets, now plays for the Dodgers. Yes, Mets, Dodgers. Oh, wait, both of those teams happen to be up there at the 245.3 above.
Right?
No, you're noticing a trend here? So this is what happens with all these teams down here: the Orioles, the Mariners, the Royals, Reds, Brewers, Rockies, Twins, Mariners, Guardians, White Sox, A's, Cardinals, Rays, Pirates, and my Nationals. This is what happens.
I don't want to call them cannon fodder, but
they are cannon fodder. Why watch a minor league team when you can watch these 12 plus teams play? Because the moment your team develops a superstar in any way, shape, or form,
they're too expensive.
They become too expensive for that, especially if they hit stardom early.
Yeah.
Your team's mindset is, well, they become too expensive. We don't want to pay them that money, and they walk. And see, I get it. As fans, we're often like, pay the players their money.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, with a cap involved, it makes things balanced so that every team supposedly has a legitimate shot to win, because you're capping what a team can do. Otherwise, you're looking at the San Francisco 49ers of the 1980s, because they basically did the same thing.
Yeah.
But the salary cap was more looser in the NFL then than it is now. Baseball, again, never had a salary cap. So if you're always wondering, well, why is it that the Yankees are always in the playoffs? Because they pay for it.
Yep.
Literally, they pay for it.
No.
Why have the Dodgers won the last several World Series? Because they paid for it. The best player in baseball, I'm a blank on his name, Japanese player who is both pitching and hitting for the Dodgers, used to play for the Anaheim Angels or LA Angels, whatever they're calling themselves these days. But the Angels, that was the team he originally signed with out of Japan.
Okay.
And it got to the point to where it was like, yo, this dude wants to win, and this team isn't going to the playoffs.
And
so
see,
when his contract ended, there were limited teams that he was looking at. By the way, the three teams, when I say limited, I mean three. And the three teams he was looking at going to were the Mets, Dodgers, and Yankees,
who are currently in the 1, 2, and 3 position for salary spending.
I mean, this isn't by rank, but they just threw them up there. But yeah, Mets,
so no,
Dodgers, Yankees.
There's a link in the chat if you wanted to take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sortable page where you can rank them and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to put it up for the show, but it's just as we're talking about it, just in case.
Fair enough. But yeah, so basically we're looking at Houston, Chicago, San Diego, Detroit, Frisco, Boston, Arizona, Texas, LA. Are the remaining teams missing? Those are the ones currently within above the floor, but below the ceiling. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Because again, you're talking about half the league is what you're looking at right here. This is half the league. Teams below 171.2 is half the league. And it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Every year there's a set group of teams that have a chance to win or compete for a title. But it doesn't help the fan base of any of these teams right here, of these 15 teams, knowing that my team's not going to make the playoffs, let alone contend for a championship.
I wonder how much
because they refuse to pay the money.
I wonder how much of this does the average fan know?
Baseball is one of those sports where I feel like if you are a fan, you're not casually, like there's no casually watching baseball.
Yeah, no.
Like casually watching baseball, I will equate to I like a particular player. Right? You're not going to be a casual fan of a team because at some point you're going to be invested in this team's winning and losing.
Yeah.
Right? And it's going to get to the point to you trying to figure out, why does my team never go to the playoffs? Especially when you hit a certain age and you've been a fan of that team for pretty much your entire interest in that sport.
Yeah.
So if the question starts arising, why does my team never go to the playoffs? And you start digging because, hey, 2026 is a lot different than 1986. So you have access to a wealth of information out there to explain why your team isn't going to the playoffs. Again, I clown and joke, but I know the reality of the teams I root for in Washington. I know the Nationals are not going to make the playoffs again unless they draft another generational talent that they can capitalize on their rookie deal to make the playoffs for a couple of years. Odds of that happening, I'd probably get struck by lightning twice and eaten by a shark on the same day.
Is it really that dire, James?
That would happen sooner than Washington winning another title, yes. So, yeah. struck by lightning twice, and eaten by a shark. Mind you, I am nowhere near an ocean. Have no intentions of being anywhere near an ocean. But I have better odds of being bitten by a shark than Washington Nationals winning another title. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop rooting for them. I just know the reality of the situation. Every year, my rooting of the Washington baseball team is hoping that they finish above 500 in a given season. That's it. That's the win for me. Did they finish above 500? Yes, I'm happy.
About how I feel about my Falcons these days.
So that's where I am on the baseball tip. But yeah, this again, if your team's not pictured, they're pretty much good on the salary cap front. But the players understandably don't want it because now it limits who gets what where, and it makes teams have to make hard decisions of, all right, who can we afford to keep and who do we let go? Because best believe the 6 teams here who are paying more than 245.3, this cap is instituted. They're going to have to look long and hard at their roster and decide which of their high-paying talent are they going to cut and let walk. Because I guarantee all 6 of these teams are making the playoffs. Well, I won't say all 6. At least 5 of them are. Because this is why I say 5, because the Mets, Phillies, and Braves all play in the same division. So they can't all go to the playoffs.
Right.
And I mean playoffs, not play-in games. There's a difference. I mean legitimate playoffs, meaning they're playing in a wild card, not the wild card play-in game. I'm talking about like the divisional series.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by playoffs, not the play-in games, the actual series. So yes, at least 5 of these teams, maybe 4. But that's what you're looking at playoff-wise. These guys right here below the 171.2, I don't care what the records are right now. They're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, let's just forget the rest of the regular season. Let's just start the playoffs tomorrow.
I mean, that's basically what you're doing because the regular season has become a formality. Well, let's put it this way. If you're a Dodgers fan, the regular season is a formality because the Dodgers have won the last 2 world titles.
Yeah.
And no surprise that they are the second highest payroll in baseball.
You know, while I may not watch baseball religiously, I don't want to see a strike. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely in favor of the players getting
what they deserve.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. No, I was trying to debate. In my mind, unions popped in, and I was like, yeah, okay, but no. I definitely am in favor of the players getting what they deserve.
Right.
But I don't want to see a strike. But again, that sometimes is necessary.
Mm-hmm. And this strike will be because of the players, and I get it, because if half the league is trying not to spend any money,
yeah, it's almost like it's collusion,
right? Because why are you owning the sports team, and then you wonder why no one's coming to games?
Right.
Well, fans aren't coming to games because you're not winning. You're not winning because you refuse to spend money. And your compensation, this is always hilarious, your compensation for fans not showing up is to jack up prices at the stadium for concessions.
That's just going to make people not come and not buy, or come and not buy stuff. But a baseball game is too damn long to sit there and not have any food.
That part. So that's all I want to get with the Major League Baseball, because I felt, you know what, that needs addressing. And the CBA, I believe, runs out in 2027. So yeah, if the 27 season actually starts and stops abruptly, you'll know why. Let's put it this way. If the CBA ends, I think it ends December of this year. I don't know the exact date, but if there is no 27 season outright, you'll know why.
December 1st, 2026.
Yep. So, yeah, I get why the players don't want it, but this is a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Because here's what happens with a salary cap and a floor. It guarantees that all the top players get paid, because a decade ago, there were big name players who couldn't get contracts. Like legit could not get contracts. There was a point in time Freddie Freeman was not getting signed by anybody.
And that's ridiculous.
So hopefully that does not happen again. Like star players should always, but again, I look at the case of the WNBA. There are a lot of talented women who don't get signed by teams for stupid reasons. Again, there's no reason that Kennedy Carter shouldn't have been in the league last year. And she plays for the Aces this year. So the other 14 teams fumbled the ball on that one.
Let's take an already stacked team and stack them a little bit more.
I don't see a problem there.
Of course not.
My only complaint is why didn't Washington like sign her? So to help those young, because basically half of Washington's roster, and this is not exaggeration, I know we swing it back to WNBA, but literally half of Washington's roster are all first round picks from the last 4 years. Half.
Which means they're not getting any better.
I mean, they're getting younger, which is good, and they're getting great players. Problem is, you got to find some veteran leadership to guide them to be great. So you're getting great players out of college, but who is grooming them to be great in the pros? Because I can't trust the coaching staff. That dude's an idiot too. Just like his predecessor was an idiot.
And again,
Yeah, I know. I said exactly what I said. He is an idiot. And his predecessor, he too was an idiot. Yep. But his predecessor was the son of the GM and had no business being a coach. That is what we call high-key nepotism.
Right.
Daddy has a job, so I get a job too. And then you wonder why both are fired. Oh, I don't know, because you suck and your dad sucks. And I'm looking forward to the current Washington Mystics coach getting fired at some point soon as well, because, again, too talented a roster to not keep getting better.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's get into the World Cup, because the first game of the tournament is tomorrow. And for those of you who live in Atlanta, the Mercedes-Benz Dome makeover is pretty much done. If you haven't seen it, let's see here. I wonder if I still have those photos. Basically, the logos of the Mercedes-Benz Dome and the name have been covered up. So this is what was done a couple of weeks ago to the actual Mercedes-Benz logo. And the wording on the side of the stadium, Mercedes-Benz, was just covered up. You took this last week, right?
Yeah, about a week and a half.
About a week ago. So, and this is what it says now, FIFA World Cup 2026. So this is what we're looking forward to. As we discussed before we went live tonight, our jobs, places of employment, pretty much trying to make concessions for us going into the office when there's a game being played. My team doesn't go into the office for another 2 weeks. Matter of fact, 2 weeks from today, a game happens to be played here in Atlanta. Word has already been sent out. Everybody in my group, when we're in office, is allowed to work from home, which is cool if I wasn't already off on Wednesday.
Right.
You, however, have a different situation because everybody has to show up on Wednesdays.
Yep. I'm hoping that yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because where you work is not like
specifically not just where I work. Think about where I live.
Yeah, I know where you live.
Right. So I'm screwed.
Oh yeah.
Royally.
I suggest you just pack a bag and crash at the office so you don't have to worry about traffic.
What I need to do is just take a shower tonight, pack a bag, and go back to the office tonight. Although my building actually has showers in it, so no, I'm not using those showers at the job though. No.
I mean, you do work in a chemical lab, so I'm pretty sure they got great showers. They should. It's a chemical lab.
That is true. But it's tomorrow is going to be a royal pain. I need to check before we get before the night is over what time the game is going to be. Well, actually, you know what? It doesn't matter what time the game is going to be. Tomorrow is just going to be screwed because there's probably going to be stuff going all damn day.
Because it's the start of the World Cup tomorrow, and oh gosh, I had this at the top of my head, but there's no game in Atlanta tomorrow.
No, the first game in Atlanta isn't until the 15th.
Right.
But I imagine there will still be stuff going on.
Oh yeah. So I believe it's 2 games tomorrow: Mexico and South Africa, South Korea and Czechia. And these games are happening. Let's see here. Mexico and South Africa is being played in Mexico City. So North America doesn't have to worry about that. And South Korea and Czechia is being played in Guadalajara in Mexico. So the U.S. is safe until Friday. But like we said, World Cup actually starts tomorrow. And if your city is a host city, there's stuff pretty much that's going to be happening every single day, whether there's a game or not, and around the stadium.
Yeah. One of the things that I've been loving that I've seen is the underside of a lot of bridges have been getting murals painted on them, which has been pretty cool to see.
Okay.
Because over here by me, I actually have had the luxury of seeing them go from, bare wall all the way through to complete mural. So that's just been a really interesting thing to see.
Well, hopefully there are no shenanigans. Unfortunately, because we live in this shithole country called America, certain teams' personnel have not been allowed into the country.
Right.
I believe the Iranian team, none of their support staff visas were acknowledged. So for when the Iran team plays in the U.S., they will have to coordinate with their support staff in Mexico.
Not only that, they can't stay. Once the game is over, they've got to go back to Mexico City. Which that's just pretty fucked up. The other thing is, did you hear about the Somalian referee?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's been banned from coming into the country, I believe.
And from what I read about him, he's one of the best referees. Excuse me. One of the best referees that they've got in World Cup.
He's been denied access from coming into the country. An official, not a player for a team.
Right.
The actual official. So for anybody who's like, yeah, World Cup, USA, this is going to be great. Can't wait till it happens again. Yeah, this shit ain't happening again.
And
let me phrase that. This ain't happening again in our lifetime.
Honestly, I was very surprised when we got it because
I wasn't. So here's the thing. Us getting it wasn't the issue. It was a certain incident that happened 4 months later after we were awarded the World Cup. Remember, we were awarded World Cup 2 years ago. And November of that year, something happened.
Yeah.
And when that thing happened, I saw this coming.
Well, no. So the reason I'm kind of surprised that we got it is when you compare how America cares, quote unquote, cares about soccer, football, versus the rest of the world. To me, it only makes sense to host these games in places that are extremely passionate about the sport. And while there is a decent amount of people here in America, this country doesn't really care about soccer. Not at any legitimate level. The interest is growing, but I don't think it's enough that America I just don't think we should have it.
It's growing because of people whose backgrounds, family backgrounds are from other countries.
Yeah.
That's mainly it.
Yeah. Because one thing that I notice anytime that I drive past the stadium and happen to forget there's an Atlanta United game that day, as I scan the crowd of people who were going to that game, the bulk of them do not look. The bulk of them are not American. Well, I won't say they're not American, but they're not Americans with.
They're not Anglo or Saxon.
Yeah. No, actually, no. That's what they are.
There's some of them there. Yes, that's not the majority of the crowd, though.
Aren't they? Wait, are Anglo-Saxons aren't brown people, are they?
No.
Okay.
Again, there's a spattering of Anglo-Saxons in the crowd. A spattering.
Yeah.
But 90% of that fan base is not Anglo or Saxon.
Nope, not at all.
They're definitely people of color.
Yeah.
Pick your country, but country of origin, if you will, or
first language is probably not English.
I mean, now, yes, their parents and their grandparents probably know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right. So again, the interest in the sport is growing, but like I said, right now, I just don't think it's high enough that I would even I would have considered America for any of these games. The only thing I truly believe is that we got it partly because of our facilities, not necessarily because of fan interest.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what facilities are like in other countries for these soccer matches, but when I think about the facilities that I know of that we're using here in the States, they're pound for pound some of the best places you're going to be.
Yeah. But also remember that the American cities that are hosting the games are Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, KC, LA, Miami, New York, Jersey, Philly, Seattle, and Frisco.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that those sites were chosen. And it's also no surprise that there's particular government agency in each of those cities that they were instituted in before any other cities in the country. That wasn't by accident.
No.
So if you know someone who is visiting from another country who is taking the risk of going to these games in those 8 U.S. cities, please understand that there is a heavy presence, or there will be a heavy presence of that so-called government agency out there at those games. Hotels have not sold rooms. Still, they've had to open up blocks of rooms that they had reserved for people for World Cup.
Yeah.
If you own an Airbnb, from what I understand, people have said they know people who pretty much made up their mortgage for the next year and a half.
Wow.
Just for renting out the Airbnb for the next 4 to 5 weeks between this month and next month for World Cup.
I can believe it. Especially with the cost of these tickets, I can easily believe it.
And the tickets are crazy. But
unless you're Mamdani and he found a way to get cheap tickets.
He made them lower the cost of those tickets. But actually, I should say he made them lower the cost. He made them make available a certain number of tickets at a particular price.
Which, if he can do that, why can't other mayors do it?
Money.
Okay.
No, seriously, money. Someone's paying them not to.
Like, wait,
or someone's paying them to not get involved, or let's put it this way, money is the answer. How and where it's going, don't know, but money is definitely involved in the why other mayors aren't doing what Mandani is doing.
Okay.
I can guarantee you it's money, because FIFA probably looked at that and be like, okay, that's the one. The rest of you, no. Because like you said, if he can do it, why aren't the other 7 mayors in cities hosting games doing it?
Yeah.
And again, my answer is money.
Fair.
FIFA's trying to make sure they get all the money. Because again, FIFA's thing to these 8 cities is that you're going to see like $1.5 billion in revenue for you hosting the games and all the activities that's going to be going on and everything. But you're telling cities like, and Boston is not where the game is being played. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
It is the town of Foxborough where the Patriots Gillette Stadium is, which is not in Boston. It's in Foxborough, which is pretty much like a suburb of Boston, right? So, kind of like what Gwinnett is to Atlanta, for those not familiar. And Foxborough, town of Foxborough, has no money to fork up to cover expenses for whatever. But FIFA's like, but you're going to get all this money coming in. So they're like, okay, we don't have it now, though. And they don't.
Yeah.
So all the things that are happening in other cities, in the other 7 cities, locations where games are being played, as far as fan events and concerts and things, whatever, FIFA was like, yeah, so Foxborough, come up with that extra $75 million so I can cover fan entertainment and extra security when games are not being played in your area. And Foxborough was like, no, we don't have it. We can't get it. And we don't know what to tell y'all. So Foxborough is only going to have games. Now, the city of Boston, however, may be putting on a show, but the stadium, again, is not in Boston.
This is true.
So you can go to Boston and cut up and have a good time. The game's in Foxborough, which is not the same as Boston.
Nope, it's a good 40-minute drive away.
So Foxborough was like, thank you for the games, but our pockets is empty. We don't know what to tell you. So yeah. That's how that works. Anything you want to talk about the NFL before we hit the last of our shenanigans and get out of here for the night?
Nope.
I'm pretty sure people like want to figure out why I didn't say anything last month with the pending trade that inevitably took place. But yes, AJ Brown is now a Patriot. Okay. I'm not broken up about it. I'm not hurt about it. It's the business of football. Myles Garrett being a Ram, problematic, because now people are like, is Aaron Donald going to unretire and come back to the Rams? To which, if you look at particular posts on social media, he's on a couch with his wife, and his wife's like, babe, people say you're going to unretire. You going to unretire? And he doesn't say anything because he looked like he's unconscious. And like relaxing and enjoying himself because they're both sitting on the sofa. And she's like, well, there you have it. He's not doing it. But it doesn't stop the talking heads and all the sports shows from bringing it up endlessly between now and, say, November, when he would actually have to be on a roster to be eligible for any playoff run. Yeah. So, yeah, that's going to be the talk of Rams fodder from here till then. But, yeah, other than that, World Cup is going to impact the NFL because, again, those 8 stadiums that are hosting games, and Philly is one of them, players have pretty much come up and said that they want to play on the same surface that the soccer players play on for FIFA.
I'm wondering if they're gonna get it.
And remember, that was part of the decision as far as awarding North America Because remember, US, Canada, and Mexico are hosting games. That was part of the decision that went into awarding North America the World Cup this year. So those 8 stadiums that they're playing in are all one NFL stadiums.
Yep.
None of them, second point, none of them have the playing surface that is FIFA regulated, if you will.
They will by game time.
They will by game time for this tournament.
Yeah.
But now players are like, yeah, we want that permanently.
Right.
The issue with that is the league has a set approved number of playing surfaces because, again, domestic manufacturing of these surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, one of these 3 companies, because it basically comes down to 3 companies to install the playing surfaces. That's basically all it is.
But wait.
Hold on, let me finish. I'm gonna let you get to it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, it comes down to the 3, because basically it's 3 companies that produces the 3 different type of playing surfaces that all NFL teams play on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you basically contracted with them to provide you with this surface for game day, whatever have you. And again, 3 companies. It's literally 3 companies. All it takes is one of these 3 companies to realize we could make a killing and decide, let's go ahead and switch what we do, or at least add in amongst our type of surfaces what they use for soccer games in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a wrap, because the moment that a handful of players get to play on that surface, the NFL PA is going to push back and let the league know, we want that everywhere. We're not playing. That's a matter of time.
Yeah.
So the NFL can either let the owners know, like, y'all need to do this, or let it drag out to the players make a stand and say, y'all going to do this. So it's one of those things that you can either volunteer to do it, or you can be voluntold to do it.
Right.
But no, what was your point?
One of the things that gets me, because isn't the surface that they want just real grass?
Yes.
So
to some extent, yes. It is. It's not completely real. I think it's a mix of real and synthetic.
Because a part of me is sitting here thinking it's grass. Just let it grow.
Yes, but you also have to remember that a third of the teams in the NFL play in domes.
Okay, so you install some hydroponic lighting. That's not a problem.
None of these stadiums were designed that way. You know that.
No, I know, but to bring in some hydroponic lighting to grow grass wouldn't be an issue. Because all you would need to do, and again, here's the engineer going, all you need to do is build a cage above and around the field.
So again, you being an engineer, that's a common sense approach. What were the 2 key words in that sentence?
Common and sense.
Okay. And owners only care about
money.
Okay. So what you're proposing that's easily common sense is going to cost
money.
And they don't want to spend
money.
Okay.
But in the long run, it's cheaper.
And it's still going to cost
money.
Okay. And they're trying to make
money.
So they don't want to spend.
But they're already spending money paying these 3 companies.
Okay. But now you're talking about spending more.
A little bit more now to spend a lot less later.
Okay. Again, and collectively, you think owners are intelligent enough to make that decision?
If all they care about is money, surely they could look at it and say, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I get more money late. If these owners are nothing, they're business people. So you would think the financial savings would be
and how long? But how long is that long-term turnaround? Because if the long-term turnaround is 5 years, cool. The long-term turnaround is anywhere near 10. No,
it's definitely not 10. It can easily be 5.
Can it?
Yes.
Is that a guarantee?
I'm no landscaping expert, but I would imagine.
Yeah, see, all that pausing and stuff right there is easily why somebody with a quick trigger whose whole purpose is to make money will be like, no. But I hear what you're saying. Trust me, I'm not disagreeing with anything you saying. But the NFL is still a business at the end of the day. You're talking about 32 business individuals whose whole goal is, how do I make more money so I can pocket for myself while putting this product on the field?
This is very true. Very true.
It is putting this product on the field going to interrupt or dip into or increase my operational cost to a point to where I don't like it. And basically anything that's going to add on to their current operational cost is pretty much like an F and a no. So again, with this playing surface thing, because I honestly believe this is going to happen. It's a matter of time. It's not an if, it's a when.
But so here's I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because here's all that's going to happen. Remember, everybody right now in the NFL is currently going through either OTAs, mini camps, or something of the sort this month.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These stadiums have the playing surfaces down for these World Cup games already. You're not going to convince me that no one has installed the playing surface for these games, because why would you wait till the night before to do it? I mean, you can do it, but why wait? So I'm looking at these 8 cities, these teams that are doing this. These players are already out there on it because, again, fan events, because OTAs sometimes are held, some practices are held at the actual stadium where they play the regular season games. Because fan experiences.
Yeah.
So the surfaces are already out there. The players are doing some player event mixed in, player fan experience mixed in with the OTAs. They're at the stadiums. You're talking about 8 teams already going through and interacting with this surface. Really?
So let me ask you.
We're talking the Patriots, the Eagles, the Falcons, maybe.
Well, no, the Falcons are doing everything up at Flowery Branch.
Flowery Branch. Okay.
So, and I say that only because games start next week, or with FIFA stuff starting next week.
Next week, yes.
It would just make sense for them to not be here.
Yeah. Fair enough. But other teams probably are doing something. And maybe not this week, probably last week at the stadium, because again, like I said, OTAs and everything like that. And they're probably going to, OTAs are probably wrapping up and everything to stop because World Cup or whatever break until next month when they come in for mini camps or whatnot.
Yeah.
So even then, somebody you ain't going to convince me that no players for these 8 teams, the Patriots, the Eagles, the Falcons, the Dolphins, the Rams/Chargers, the Niners, the Texans, the Cowboys.
I'm sure they have all been there to see it. They've all been there to see it. There's no. You won't convince me that they haven't all been there to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. You talking about players, and then word getting out like, yo, this new surface, man. Yo, the things we can do on this surface, whether it's speed or conditioning or health, because again, as it has been graded the worst playing surface for each of the last 5 seasons, MetLife Stadium, where the Jets and Giants play.
Mm-hmm.
No one, when I say no one, I mean no one likes that playing surface.
What do they have there? Is it the old school AstroTurf?
Nah, it's not AstroTurf. But whatever surface they're using, the players are blaming it for all the catastrophic injuries that have taken place over the years in that stadium, because there have been a number of knee injuries. Malik Neighbors, who missed his sophomore season in the NFL because he blew out his knee on the MetLife surface.
Yeah. There you go.
So when I say by far and large that players in the league do not like MetLife Stadium, and it's solely because of the surface that's there to play on.
Yeah.
That is public enemy number one. If players could not play on that surface, they would not.
So
that includes the Jets and the Giants, who play 8 or 9 games there every year.
So what we're looking at is you've got natural grass, AstroTurf, and probably 2 or 3 other somethings that everybody is playing on.
Well, no one's playing on AstroTurf anymore. AstroTurf pretty much went the way of the dodo.
Okay.
So
not that I really need to know exactly what the surface is, but is one of them natural grass at least?
Yes.
Okay.
But the natural grass that we use is not the same as, say, what FIFA regulations allow.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. I was just going at it from the angle of you factor in kids growing up playing football outside at the park. You're playing on natural grass. And in my mind, as you rise throughout the ranks of Pop Warner all the way up to the pros, surely at some point somebody in there is saying, hey, you know what? Natural grass feels better than whatever this other stuff is. Why don't we just stick with that?
College. Because that's where the shift happens.
Okay.
Now, there are a number of colleges, and I don't know which ones they are off the top of my head, but there are a handful of colleges who play on AstroTurf still. I think it's dumb, but you can easily tell by looking at the field and the shoes the players are wearing. They ain't playing on anything that's grass, natural, or synthetic.
Got it.
It is 100% carpet. You laugh. Next time. And again, I don't know which schools they are off the top of my head, but randomly watch some college football highlights this upcoming season, and you will be able to tell, oh, that's not grass. That ain't even synthetic. That's carpet. Yeah, AstroTurf.
Okay.
So if you're wondering where AstroTurf is, it's not on the pro level. It's in the college levels. You just got to figure out which schools are still using them. And
college is always so slow to change.
Yeah, that's a discussion for another time. What you got homework? Oh, one last thing I want to mention about the NFL. Chicago Bears fans. That's probably like one of the last times I may say that. Now, granted, this is an issue that's probably 7 years away because the lease on Soldier Field ends in 2033. But the Chicago Bears are already looking to move out of Chicago to a place in Northwest Indiana.
I heard about that.
And Indiana's already given the green light to welcome the Bears moving there. And if you're trying to figure out, well, what the hell is going on? The short version is renovations to Soldier Field are no longer, I guess, have gotten to the point to where they can't do but so much renovation.
Right.
A new stadium is probably needed at this point, which I get. The Bears ownership has a parcel of land outside of Chicago that they would love to build a new facility on, but they want property tax breaks, which the state and surrounding county is not going to give them. And so they're like, well, if we can't get a break on these property taxes and taxes in general, whatever, for building on this piece of land that we bought several years ago, then maybe we should look somewhere else to move our team. And Indiana was like, hey. So yeah, that's a thing that's currently going on. So literally one of the oldest franchises in the league, team that's played in its city for over 100 years, might in about 7 years be gone. I know you're like, well, it's 7 years. Well, decisions have to be made well before then.
Right.
Because if the decisions are made before the lease runs out to put this plan in motion, then over the course of the next 7 years, whenever those decisions are made, you're going to have a stadium being built and the Bears operating under a new name that's not Chicago.
And that was going to be my question was, if they go to Indiana, what are they going to be?
Don't know. But this is the part of sports, especially when it comes to the NFL, that I hate. Because owners will always tell a city, we need a new stadium. Because Philly is about to go through the same thing. The Eagles' lease with Lincoln Financial Field runs out, I believe, in 2032. Yeah, it's definitely somewhere after 2030. But they're looking to the same thing as far as trying to get a new stadium and possibly a dome, which I don't want. That's the other thing. The Bears are looking at building a dome facility, which I hate for them. I know how you feel about outdoor football, but there are some teams. I mean,
but that's one of the things that's stopping them from getting a Super Bowl.
So what? I don't care about them hosting a Super Bowl. I don't care about the Eagles hosting a Super Bowl, the Philadelphia hosting a Super Bowl. Forget hosting a Super Bowl. Winning it's more important than hosting it.
I agree with you.
My opinion. Now, granted, there is revenue that comes into hosting a Super Bowl for the city.
Right.
Howsoever.
And whoever owns the stadium.
Nuance with that. But there are certain teams that need to stay in outdoor stadiums. The Bears are one of them. The Bears need not ever move indoors. I don't care how good they are, how bad they are. You're talking about, again, the literally, if not the, between them and the Packers, the oldest franchises in the league.
Times are changing, man.
No, they don't ever need to be moved indoors. Ever. No, look, I get times are changing.
I don't know that ownership agrees with you.
Ownership is dumb. We've said this many a times. I will constantly, you want to see me plant a flag in a hill and die on it? Ownership is dumb. Again, the Minnesota Vikings went to 4 Super Bowls and then they went to domes. Haven't been to one since. Take advantage of your outside. Now, granted, I understand upper Midwest area, Minnesota gets colder than cold for its winter months when football games are being played. Not arguing that. I get it. But climate change is a thing. So blame your parents and your grandparents for ruining the environment. Yeah, Minnesota moved indoors, hasn't been to Super Bowl since. At one point, your Falcons used to play outdoors.
They did.
And
they played in Turner Field with the Braves.
I don't know about you, but December down here can get a little nippy sometimes. And all I'm saying is,
winter down here is not real winter.
I understand that, but also understand the competitive advantage you would have for, say, playing the Saints and the Buccaneers, a Florida team and an indoor team in December, playing outdoors in Atlanta in conditions they're not familiar with. There's a reason why I look at the schedule and say, I don't want to play this team early in the year. I want them in December when I'm looking at the Eagles schedule. There's a reason for that. And sometimes I don't care, because the way it is now, if we get particular teams in the first 4 weeks of the season, big whoop, because that's an extension of preseason.
Yeah.
But other teams, I want, and we're like, oh, they're coming to Philly. I want them in Philly in December or after Thanksgiving, whatever the case may be, when it's cold, when there's a chance it's going to snow in Philly. Because I know no matter how good or bad they are going to struggle in the cold climate of Philadelphia.
This is true.
It's an advantage to be taken advantage of, if you will.
I
embrace the advantage.
I will not dispute that. I will definitely concede that point to you.
Especially if it's a California team, a Florida team, or a dome team.
However, these owners want to host warm weather events during the cold.
Concert series and other things like that. I get it. But here's the thing. and this is the part that always pisses me off, because if I recall, both the Texans and the Colts play in stadiums that have retractable roofs.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen those roofs open.
Really? Huh.
Not for a football game. I believe Arizona Stadium also is a retractable roof. I have never seen those roofs open for a football game. So why are we building dome stadiums with retractable roofs if the roof is never open for a football game? And I get it, you're not going to open the roof if it's raining or cold, but in the first 8 weeks of the season from September to October, and they're hosting home games, why is the roof not open?
Open that bad boy up.
Why is it not open?
Which could potentially give you an advantage.
Because that becomes my question. We built this wonderful state-of-the-art facility with a retractable roof that's never open during the first 2 months of the season.
Are you sure that it works?
They put all that money into it. Of course it works.
Are you sure that it works? Are you for print? Are you for print? Sure.
Shut up. But
no,
getting back
I legitimately asked that question because when they were building Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the Falcons, that retractable roof was not working in the beginning. Like the stadium was complete, but something in that mechanism was not. I don't know if it was poorly designed or if it was installed wrong, but something stopped them from opening that retractable roof, and they had to repair it and fix it in the off season. So again, are we sure that it works?
And that's what I was about to ask you. Does Mercedes-Benz roof open today?
Yes, it does work now. I've been at games where it's been open.
Okay.
Yeah, it works now. But like I said, in the beginning, it didn't.
Okay. So I'll be paying attention to Falcon games in September and October to see if that dome is open. Because I myself, I've seen the model design of it opening. It's spectacular the way it just spirals open and whatnot. And, you say the mechanism works. So, yeah, the first home game this season, if it ain't open, I'm calling you. And I'm definitely cussing you out. Because, again, you say it works and it opens. Okay.
Again, I've been at games where it's been open.
Okay. I hear you.
Now, what I don't know is
home game.
What is the condition for them to open it? I would think the condition would just be sunny and no chance of rain. You should open it.
Okay. September 20th is the first home game, 1:00 against the Carolina Panthers.
It should be open.
Okay. And the next home game until week 5, October 11th against the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. And then week 6, October 18th against the Chicago Bears. And then the following week, October 25th against the San Francisco 49ers. So Panthers, Ravens, Bears, Niners are your first 4 home games. That's September and October. I will be looking to see if the state, and 3 of those are 1:00 games and 1 is an 8:00 game. So I will be paying attention to see if that roof is going to be open.
Okay. It should be.
Like I said, I'm going to call you. I'm going to cuss you out.
I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm just like, oh, that's James. Okay. Sit the phone down.
Oh, gosh. Before we get out of here, did you what homework did you pull up?
My homework was actually when we were talking about that person whose name we won't use.
Oh, okay, so we already covered your homework then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I want to go out on a little bit of comedy here. So there's 2 things I saw. So one of the things that came out of Monday night was this. This is from Game 3 of the NBA Finals Monday night in New York. If you do not know who these two people are, these are the actors from the long-running Law and Order SVU show. They play the characters Olivia Benson and Elliot Stabler. The caption on this, which I'm going to paraphrase because I did pull this off one of the social media sites, said Benson and Stabler are at the damn Knicks game celebrating instead of doing their job, which is arresting the sex offender in the suite.
Oh, that was great when I saw it. I loved it.
And yeah, you got a point. Benson and Stabler are out there living their best lives, rooting on the Knicks. There's a sex offender in the suite. They should have been arrested.
Go get him.
So yeah, like that was hilarious. I had to get that one in there before we got out of here. And a little bit of comedy. This, if you can't see it, says want to see a dead body. And basically this is just a montage. If you can find this on Threads, literally it is like a long 2-minute clip of a certain someone getting scored on over and over and over, and not by the same player, different players.
Well, if she learned to play some defense.
So anything you want to get in there before we get out of here for the evening?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, Q couldn't join us this evening. Candaysee's probably somewhere cursing up a storm because last I checked, the Knicks were down 25.
81-65, San Antonio.
All right. So the highlights from this is going to be interesting to check out. But next time we meet you all in July, we will have an NBA champion. That will pretty much determine whether Candaysee is going to be ornery for the evening or overbearing for the evening. Notice I didn't put a positive spin on either one of those because she's basically going to be unbearable if they win and a malcontent if they lose.
I mean, but can't we kind of probably say that for most Knicks fans?
You said it. I didn't.
I will stand on that.
God!
Because people always say I'm from New York. We don't like. You know what? If you're not from Asgard or Wakanda, I don't care about you being from New York. I'm from Atlanta, and
oh God. Well, for Q who stood us up. And Furious, who was still choosing violence 2 hours later.
Absolutely.
I am James saying peace, have a good night, and we will see you all next month.
Good night, everybody.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. The work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will. So if you put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. The work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't